Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm here to tell you the story about how Community Lens evolved. I envision Community Lens as a place where the average citizen learns how to be an active participant in the business of their community. My story begins by a poem that you may be familiar with by Kitty O'Meara that really charged us to begin over the pandemic, to begin reading and resting and listening more deeply, thinking about things and vowing to make new choices. Well, I took those words to heart, and I did read books, and I listened, and I attended meetings, and I began to pay attention. I made an effort to pay attention, not just to my family, my friends, but my community, and I dreamed a new vision where all citizens have a space to develop their viewpoint and contribute their voice. From early on in the pandemic, I had a great need to be connected to my community. It was quite strong. I attended public meetings, I joined virtual communities, I looked toward our local leaders, and I paid attention to agendas and mandates, and I decided I wanted to be part of the solution. I did many things to feed my soul that included attending learning collaboratives. I attended virtual parties with my friends, and I stayed connected. And just as my comfort levels started to stabilize, our world continued to destabilize. Now, despite my best efforts of learning about myself, I realized that I was quite underdeveloped. My lack of understanding and my comfort in my own secure world led to my shock value when I saw social injustice images. You see, there weren't a lot of people shocked. They had already known. I was only seeing it for the first time. There was a turning point for me, and I realized I was going to have to overcome my powerlessness. I felt like I could do more. And I began to follow this creed. When you can't control what's happening, you challenge yourself to control what you respond to that is happening. And that's where this begins for me. So I went to work. I rounded up all of my mini library in my home that had anything to do with civics, community, presence, public participation, how to bring your boldest self to the table. And I scheduled meetings with my friends, and I met with academic colleagues, and I even rounded up a few local officials, and we talked. And what I found was people want to be heard, seen, and have their opinions valued. I started to explore what civics and government literacy even was. What are the rights and duties of being a citizen? Well, a history teacher said it best recently. He said one of the biggest things that you can do in a classroom is learning how to form your own viewpoint and how to communicate that to others when they don't necessarily agree with you. So in August of 2020, I ran for my local school board. It was my first public effort to make a commitment. And although I didn't win the seat, I learned that educators are beasts. They are passionate, and they are happy, and they are willing to serve their community, and parents do care, and communication is the key. And our school systems are quite critical to our society. So what I propose with Community Lens is that we begin to challenge ourselves and find new ways to provide community input when there are no opportunities. We need to overcome gaps in our understanding that has learned and leaned into apathy that's developed. In response to this, I propose the idea of Community Lens of Anderson. I envision a nonpartisan civics coaching hub that allows others to be educated, engaged, and they prepare citizens to have productive discourse with their city leaders. So what can you do to begin? First, I say read your local newspaper. Nod. Get familiar with your list of public meetings. There are well over 15 regular meetings that provide structure to the management of our city. And do your research, understand the agendas, and know how to speak up when it matters. Bringing into focus how we should all spend our energy is probably the most difficult. So I'll outline for you what I think Community Lens has discovered in the last 18 months. We propose that the City of Anderson develop and update its city's comprehensive plan, which was last updated in 2006. Much has changed since then, and we do not have a playbook from which to measure our success. I also recommend that we improve communication gaps. Too many times I've attended public meetings where there is distrust, frustration, contention, and misunderstanding. It's poor optics for our city, and we can do better. Patterns of doing business have led to the belief that no-shows to a meeting means that no one cares, and that's just not true. There are opportunities out there for civic engagement, and it needs to be a multi-pronged approach. There are opportunities for Facebook groups. There's opportunities to develop engagement models that allow us to bring forth challenges, invite conversations with leadership, working together so that we can work on the problems that fuel future collaboration. So we have a place at the table. An open government makes it clear how the local decision policies are made and where voices are needed. The overarching purpose to my initiative is to maintain the democratic ideals of we the people, reducing civic apathy and increasing engagement and transparency. This civics coaching hub that I propose could be digital or in person. It could involve workshops, one-pagers, Zoom meetings where we all sit together and we attend town halls, teach each other how to write editorials, and make connections with our local representatives. It is the right and responsibility of all citizens to understand how they can get engaged in local government. I invite you to join me as we grow this initiative. Thank you.